Welcome to Men's Net. We're glad you're with us. My name is Mel Feit. I'll be filling in for Roy Barreca. Tony Nazzaro will join us in just a moment. Okay, this should be fun. We're going to have a debate, and the topic of the debate will be a play by Eve Ensler entitled The Vagina Monologues, so entitled because it consists of a series of interviews in which women talk explicitly about their vaginas. They talk about pubic hair and shapes and textures and smells and menstruation. It's an explicit play. Gloria Steinem has said that this play says the unsayable. Well, some people have said that, particularly on college campuses, this play has sparked an aggressive feminism that is hostile to men and male sexuality. Other people have said that in a world that makes people feel ashamed of their bodies, allowing women to express some pride in their bodies, that has to be a good thing. So we'll have a debate. Here's what I think before we get to our panel. I do think this play keeps a great lie. The lie being that women don't know. They're somehow completely unaware of the fact that their vaginas are the source of the power that they have over men, the power to control the terms of relationships with men, the power to profit materially whenever they interact with men. None of that's in this play. Now, I get it. It's just not in women's interest to admit to any of that. I mean, you know, better to pretend to be helpless and victims, because then you get privilege and protection. Yeah, power and protection, the best of both worlds. Men won't talk about any of this, Lord knows, not publicly. We're not going to be talking about female sexual power. So no one says a word. Everyone kind of knows it, but no one talks about it. It's one of the last taboos. So there you have the dishonesty, the irony of the Vagina Monologues is that it doesn't say the unsayable. It doesn't say the one thing that has to be said. It reinforces taboos, it keeps secrets, it hides the truth, and in that sense, I think it's more propaganda than art, but you know, that's just my opinion. So let's see what other people have to say about it. Joining us on Men's Net to have this discussion is Paula Young. Paula has been with us before. She has been an actress in the Vagina Monologues on 3 separate occasions, and Paula is painfully shy. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Just take it easy on us, okay?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Also on the panel, joining us for the first time, is Tanya Cooper. Tanya is a talk show host and a comedian, and we welcome you as a first-time guest on Men's Net. Thank you for being here, Tanya. And rounding out our panel is our fearless leader, the executive producer of Men's Net, Mr. Tony Nazzaro. Welcome to your own show. Welcome all. Okay, Tony, I want to start with you. You and I do not have vaginas. You would think this, my introduction notwithstanding, you would think this one area, women talking about their bodies, their sexuality, they ought to be able to talk about it on their own terms the way they want without criticism from the likes of you and me.
Well, that point's not valid, and I'll tell you why. That's like saying that we don't have anything to do with childbirth, and we do. I think we should have some say in the abortion issue and childbirth. But I think did they have the right to talk about their vaginas? Certainly. But this play is anti-male, outdated, and vulgar propaganda that shouldn't be exposed to high school kids.
But before we get into what happened with high school, why is women talking about their bodies inherently an anti-male thing? I really don't get that. Talking about their bodies.
It infers that, and this play infers that they don't need men. It could be done through homosexuality or asexual.
But some women don't. There are lesbians in the world. Why is that inherently anti-male?
Don't have a play about it trying to sell it to the general public and to children.
But, and I do want you to talk about what happened at the high school, but it's a play. The point of a play is to provoke debate. I mean, we're sort of doing what Eve Ensler wanted us to do. In a way, we're here having a debate, you know, so it is. All right, tell us what happened. I know you want to talk about what happened in John Jay High School. This play was presented there in some form, and what happened was interesting. Tell us what happened.
Well, 3 16-year-old girls, underage girls, by the way, got up and promised that they wouldn't recite a verse from the Vagina Monologues to the principal. They went back on their word, and in an open audience with 9th graders, they spouted, and I'll actually quote the verse. It was titled My Short Skirt. My short skirt is a liberation flag in the women's army. I declare these streets, any streets, my vagina's country. Now, first of all, your first reaction to that is, what are they talking about? I mean, you know, one expert had put it that is a metaphor for women being open sexually and not afraid to talk about their sexuality. I'm sure Paula would agree with that. And
but they weren't in trouble for expressing an idea. They were in trouble for saying the word vagina. Is that what happened?
Well, you know, it turned into a freedom of speech argument, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been about, not about whether they had the right to say vagina. Certainly it's used in health class. It's used throughout schools. It's a medical term. But the argument should have been about, do we allow feminist propaganda of this type to our underage
Should we allow
children?
men's net to be seen in high schools? This is masculist propaganda, sort of. We express a point of view. Should we allow it to be shown in high schools?
Well, yeah, but we're not in high schools. We're not.
Should they be able to show men's net in high schools?
Well, that would be again up to the Board of Education to decide whether it's appropriate.
Do you not think the principal overreacted a little bit in saying that the word vagina can't? It's high school.
I think he misphrased the argument. He should have went off after the argument about feminist propaganda to impressionable young girls. That's what the argument should have been about, and not the word vagina.
Let's jump in. I'm sorry, I'm out of my pants.
Go for it.
Literally.
Go.
First off, I hate to agree with you on anything, but I do agree that that particular monologue in all of the Vagina Monologues is the least intelligent, the most inane and stupid of all of them. Okay? Basically, that monologue says, I'm a girl, and I can dress like a whore and walk in the street, and you can't say I'm a whore, which is my argument where you dress like a whore, and if a guy touches you, it's like, oh, rape, rape. You know, I agree with you on that. That was a stupid one, and they did that one because it was trashy and sassy and what girls think is cool today. However, you're completely wrong. I'm sorry. The Vagina Monologues is not feminist propaganda. It's junk. It's not just feminist propaganda, it's just junk in general.
But that's her motive. That's her motive. No. It turns out to be junk because, as I said, it's nothing but feminist crap. But it's not even feminist. Her intent is to instill feminism into young.
Let's start again.
Now, can I jump in?
All right, Tanya.
Because what happened to the one part of V-Day of bringing awareness to violence against women? That was supposed to be the whole purpose.
Right. And I do want to get to the point about how this play transforms into V-Day, and I do want to be sure we have a chance to talk to that. But I do want to ask Paula this. You say it's junk. Look, I read it. Right. I'm a man. It's a play about women's bodies. I'm interested.
It's not about women's bodies.
It is about vaginas.
And that's what's so stupid. This is what we sexualize everything in this society. It's absurd. You have a penis. That's what makes you a male. I have a vagina. Yes. Guess what? My vagina doesn't talk. It's the experiences of specific women as sexual beings.
Right. One of the monologues in this play is called Reclaiming Runt, only they don't use the word runt. They use the word that rhymes with runt, which we can't even say on the show. Why? Yes, but why is that? Tell me what I'm missing here. Why is that important to women? Why is that important?
Because that word has been used historically to perhaps insult women. It's a word women don't like. It's like the B word that rhymes with witch as a word to be derogatory against women. So the word reclaiming runt basically is saying that, okay, you can't call me a nappy-headed hoe. I'm going to call myself a nappy-headed hoe. That's sort of the same
Exactly.
concept.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
But it's been used by Eve Ensler to say, it's okay. You are a runt. Now, how is that in any way?
Well, Betty Friedan is rolling over in her grave. If you start to objectify women, like, here's why I think the play catches on with women. I think the play catches on with women for this reason. Tell me where you think I'm wrong. I think that this play, this has been a rallying cry on college campuses for feminist activity. Are they rallying around their intellect or their athletic ability or their courage? They're rallying around their vaginas. And here's the thing. Here's my point. I think your vagina is the one thing that makes you not a man. And women are telling me